the audio while I was in the grocery store was just so impossible. The music was so loud and there's a lot of noise in the grocery store, so you might have to turn your volume up a little bit because when you're at the grocery store, you can't really ask them to turn down their music, so yeah. It's Liv. Welcome back to my channel. I am not in my kitchen. As you can see, today I finally have a grocery shopping video for you. So in this video, I'm going to give you guys a rundown of how I shop for my groceries every week, start to finish. So like the planning and then the actual getting the groceries. And when I am getting the groceries, I will actually be at the grocery store walking around telling you like how I shop, what I look for, what I like to buy, and all of that. So I hope that this video is helpful for you guys. That is everything I have to say for now, so let's get into the video. Okay, so I have all of my tips written out here and I will write them out in the description box too. The first thing I do when I need to get groceries is I make two lists. The first list is a meal ideas for the week list. So I don't necessarily plan out my meals, like what I'm gonna have every single day, but I make a list of 4 to 5 things that I know I'll want to make during that week in case you get stuck in the middle of the week and you kind of forget what you wanted to make or you forget why you bought an item. You can just look at that list and you will remember what all of your ingredients are for. The second list is the actual grocery list. So the first thing is to make those two lists. Another tip I have is if you are pretty well versed in going to the grocery store, when you make your ingredients list, try and group things out as to where they appear in the store. So do all the produce together, do all the frozen foods together, do the bulk foods together, stuff like that. And that just makes it a quicker trip because you don't have to like zigzag back and forth across the store, save time, and make sure you don't forget anything. And my last tip for right now is just to have fun. And although a lot of people look at grocery shopping as a chore, just remember that not everyone has the luxury of going to a grocery store and picking out food. So just really be mindful about the stuff you're buying. Try to buy only what you need so you eliminate food waste, and also just be grateful that there is such a large variety of foods to choose from. So now I'm going to take you to the grocery store. So don't forget your reusable shopping bags in your car because that happens sometimes. But we are ready to go get some groceries. So the 50% off cart is a really good place to check for produce. Sometimes you can find bananas that haven't even gone bad yet that are good for freezing for smoothies or for making banana bread. So always check if you have a cart like this because they've got avocados, they've got tons of apples. Like I said at the beginning, I usually make a list of, I just put on my list like vegetables and then I kind of see what looks good when I get here. So today I'm going to buy some bok choy. Kind of sucks that it's in plastic, but everything here is in plastic and you can't really buy this at the market. So I'm gonna buy this because it looks really, really good. I still have quite a few veggies at my house, and then also in winter I like to get frozen vegetables. So for greens, I always check the best before date on them and make sure that it's at least like 4 to 5 days because then they're probably not gonna be all wilted in the package. This is one of my favorite aisles. So in the organic / natural section, that's usually where you'll find a lot of the designated vegan products, like the things that say vegan on them or like dairy free. So we've got like all these dairy free ice creams here. We've got cookie dough ice cream, salted caramel cluster, all of these Luna and Larry's ones. Like there are just so many options now and it's just really fun. They even have nice cream, like banana ice cream in containers. But this stuff is pretty expensive, as you can see, so I don't usually buy it unless I have like a family dinner or something that I want it for like a special occasion. The same with the vegan meats. There are so many options of like vegan chicken products. This is the brand that I always get. It's Gardein, and they have it at like Walmart and a lot of grocery stores. It's one of the most popular ones. They are a little bit pricier, but I usually just buy like one of these a week and use them on top of pastas or like rice bowls, stuff like that. I also really like this brand of veggie burgers. They're very good. Also, if you're having friends over or like people who don't really like vegan food, claim they don't like vegan food, you can add that stuff in, and usually they're pretty impressed by it, I find. So, vegan pizza. Sometimes it's nice to grab one of these to have it on hand as like a convenience item, because sometimes you don't feel like cooking, but you don't want to get takeout because it's more expensive. So like, you can get a vegan pizza, which is a nice option. So then usually I come to the almond milk / plant-based milk section. This is also usually where you can find vegan cheese. These ones are really good. I love these shreds. They melt really well. And you can also get vegan mayo in this aisle usually, like this one. I'm going to explain how I choose almond milk. If I want it to go in drinks like tea or coffee or hot chocolate, I get almond breeze down there, because almond breeze doesn't curdle when it goes into hot liquid like a lot of them do. I find Silk tends to curdle when you pour it into coffee. For like oatmeal and smoothies and stuff, I like to get this brand, so fresh, and I usually get almond milk. I don't really drink soy milk, and I like to buy it in a big quantity if I know I'm gonna make like mac and cheese and oatmeal and stuff like that, because it uses a lot. So it saves money. Instead of buying just like the little cartons and having to buy more of them, you can just buy one of these, especially if they are on sale. There are so many different brands of almond butter now, and usually if I have to get almond butter, I mean, I love this brand the best. It's like my favorite one. It's so smooth, and it's on sale today, but usually I'll just pick whichever one is on sale because there's tons to choose from. So I'll just look at like how much is in the bottle and then which one seems to be the best price for how much you get. So I really like getting granola here. This is my favorite brand of granola. So usually I'll get this. I buy it more in the summer when I have smoothie bowls. This is my favorite one, the hemp one. They also have like all of these kinds too. I don't buy this kind of cereal because they're quite a bit more expensive for the most part. Usually if I want to buy cereal, I'll just buy the accidentally vegan cereals that are in the actual cereal aisle. So if there's stuff that you can't get in the other aisles, then I'll buy it in this aisle, but for the most part, this stuff's like kind of expensive. So I'll get the granola usually, and then if I'm getting cereal, I'll get it at the other aisle. A lot of times you guys ask me where I get my food props, and a lot of the time it's like from this section in the grocery store. Look at this, they're like ceramic looking things. So always check if your grocery store has items like this, because usually they do. A lot of you guys ask me about my cookbook stand, and I always say, oh, I just got it from my grocery store. This is the one that I have. It's actually an iPad stand, but I use it for my cookbooks. Sometimes when you want candy, you can come to the candy aisle because there's tons of accidentally vegan candies, and there's actually a list on PETA with like accidentally vegan junk food. There's a whole list of the ones, but in general, if there are things that are gummy, like if you like squish them and they bounce back, then they have gelatin in them. But for things that are like these that you could squish and it doesn't bounce back, they don't usually have gelatin in them. They're made with cornstarch. So things like fuzzy peaches and these kind of things would all be considered vegan because they don't have gelatin in them, but we're not getting that today. But sometimes when you want candy, like if you're having a movie night and you want to get candy, it's good to know that there are vegan options at your local grocery store. This aisle is one that I go down every single time. It's like the canned goods aisle. So a lot of the time I'll get no salt added diced tomatoes, perfect for pasta sauce, chili, soups, stews, so many things. And this is $1.29, but some of them are like $1. I like getting the no salt added just because the ones with salt have like a lot of salt, so they have a lot of sodium. So this way you can just control how much salt you put in them. Canned beans, really easy to just, like if you don't want to cook your own beans, I know a lot of people do like to do that, but sometimes just grabbing a bunch of cans of beans for chilies, soups, stews, pastas, whatever, it's just so easy. Like it just makes your life so easy. The no-name ones, they literally say no name, saves you money because a lot of the time they're the same quality as the other stuff. Also, things in this aisle that are accidentally vegan. Sometimes instant noodles, even though they say chicken flavor, they don't actually have chicken. You just have to read the label. Crackers are accidentally vegan. There's so many options. You can get some vegan cheese and have it with some crackers. It's a good snack. So just remember to always read labels. Labels are your friend. Ingredients are your friend because it tells you exactly what's in it. I just get rice here. I like to get quick cooking rice It is a little bit more expensive than buying like big bulk bags of regular rice, but sometimes you only have like 15 minutes. You don't want to spend 40 minutes cooking brown rice, so I really like this brand. But also sometimes I go to the bulk store and just get a bigger quantity. But always good. Rice is fairly cheap. Pasta, so cheap. This is why I eat a lot of pasta, because okay, these are $2, but a lot of the times you can get a big bag for like $1. Where are they? Oh yeah, these ones. So like this giant bag is less than $2, and there's a lot of servings of pasta in here. But I have a lot of it at my house, so I'm not buying it today. Something I just recently noticed, super random, but I wanted to point it out. So I used to buy this tomato basil pasta sauce, and then I noticed the other day they started putting anchovy and sardine oil added. So that's why I always say, read the labels, make sure you know what you're actually buying. It's just always good to like take a good look at things every once in a while. Make sure that you're not buying one with a little fish on it if you're vegan, but you can just look next door, and for the same price, there's a non-fish one. So whenever I say like just read labels, it's because you just gotta check for those things. Okay, I love this aisle. This is the international aisle. This is the yellow Thai curry that I love getting. You just buy coconut milk and you buy this, and you mix them together and you put it with veggies, vegan chicken, beans, whatever. So good. It's like a Thai restaurant style curry. Sweet Thai chili or spicy chai chili sauce. And I put this on rice bowls. In my what I eat in a day video you guys saw, I put it on my veggie burger with my rice and my veggies. So good. These are pretty cheap. It's like $3 for this, and it lasts a long time. So the oil that I like to get for, so in my book sometimes I call for like vegetable oil, and I like to get a blend one of canola and sunflower. There's also ones that are called vegetable oil. You don't want to use oil all the time, but I do buy oil. I cook with oil. I have olive oils at home, but a lot of the time I just like using these ones because they're good for cooking with heat. Sometimes having a spray oil like this is good because you can just spritz things to get them nice and crispy in the oven. So I changed my mind. This aisle is actually my favorite. It's the baking aisle. So sometimes they have little mini things, like little mini flour, and I just like to come look at them. I never buy that because I use way more flour than that, but I wanted to show you that they usually have two things with pumpkins on them. They have pie filling, and then they have canned pumpkin. For my recipes, especially the pasta, you want to buy, this music is so loud. For my recipes, especially for pumpkin pasta, you want to buy the canned pumpkin and not the pie filling. But yeah, the baking aisle is usually where you can find canned pumpkin. Usually with flour, I just buy whatever's on sale. I'm going to talk about chocolate chips. So, a lot of times in my videos, especially for cookies and stuff, I say to use dairy-free chocolate chips or vegan chocolate chips. And in the all-natural section, there are brands that are called vegan chocolate chips or dairy-free. But if you read labels, sometimes you will find that there are brands that just don't contain dairy. They're just accidentally vegan. A lot of times they will be semi-sweet ones, so look for that and then flip it over and read the label. So this one just has unsweetened chocolate, sugar, soy lecithin, and vanilla extract. So these ones are vegan, and this is the kind that I always buy. They're really good. Some brands of semi-sweet, like these ones, do contain milk, so you always have to look for semi-sweet, but then flip it over and make sure you read the back, just for safety. Another thing that's really cheap that vegans use in a lot of recipes is apple cider vinegar. When this interacts with baking powder, it makes things rise, so you'll see it sometimes in like cakes or muffins or cupcakes, stuff like that. This is less than $2 for a giant bottle. I've had my bottle for over a year, and because I just use a little bit at a time, I haven't run out yet. That's why it's called Live Bees Vegan on a Budget, because I'm always looking for deals when it comes to food. As for spices, these always more expensive if they come in glass jars, obviously. So if you have a spice rack that comes with glass jars, you can just get these to refill them, or at your bulk food store, I guarantee they have a spice section, and I like to just buy spice refills at my bulk food store. For butter, I think I mentioned this in a video or two. This is the one I like. It's tub margarine. It's actually vegan. They wrote vegan on it, which is a very good marketing idea from their perspective, I think. I love having this for toast for baking cookies. This is what I always use. It's so easy to just scoop out. It's cheap. This whole container is like $5, and there is nothing vegan in this aisle. It's all cheap. You can get a big bag of quick cooking oats for like $3. You can also get oats at your bulk food store for sure. I usually just buy like this giant bag of no-name oats. Also maple syrup. I usually get my dad to take me to Costco because I don't have a membership, and we get the maple syrup there. Getting a big jug of maple syrup will last you. I use it in a lot of my recipes. Good on pancakes. Maple syrup's just good all around, you know, always good to have it. Frozen aisle. I like buying frozen fruit and frozen vegetables, especially in the winter when produce is not that good in Canada. We don't have a lot of local berries in the winter. We have actually none. So, frozen fruit aisle. Nothing is on sale today. Perfect. But usually I'll just get one of these. Mixed berry blend. Perfect for smoothies and also really good for my oatmeal recipe that I posted recently. It's so tasty and I've been eating it a lot. So I'll usually buy one of these a week. I think a lot of grocery stores are doing this now. Naturally imperfect, so they put like all the weird looking fruits and vegetables in these naturally imperfect packages. They still taste good and they're still perfectly fine. That's another way to get it for a little bit cheaper because they cost a little bit less. Good old no name, just saving us all money. And for frozen vegetables, I usually get frozen green beans and frozen peas and frozen broccoli because they don't get all gross when you reheat them. So I'm just gonna grab that. Frozen vegetables are just such a lifesaver. Heat these up in like 5 minutes and it just honestly helps you get more veggies in because you can just throw them into whatever you're cooking and not have to worry about chopping them and worry about like getting a bunch of produce and then having it go bad. Like, it's just such a good thing, especially in the winter. So I always stock up on frozen fruit and veggies. I have hash browns at home, so I'm not getting them, but hash browns are vegan, so. And also sometimes I get orange juice. Again, I have some at home, but I use orange juice in my smoothies a lot, so. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it was helpful for you. If you guys want to see more grocery videos like grocery hauls or grocery, budgeting or whatever, let me know below. Also, my actual grocery list that I pretty much stick to all the time is in my cookbook. And if you guys don't know, I have a cookbook coming out on February 15th. It's called Live V's Vegan on a Budget, and it is available for pre-order now. If you have any questions at all, make sure to leave them in the comments below. I would love to answer them. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I love and appreciate you all so much, and I will see you guys next week. Bye.